Well, The Marvels, released last weekend to a lackluster $47 million, marks the lowest opening weekend for a Marvel movie of all time. A sad new low for those of us who love Marvel movies. Initial estimations put opening weekend numbers at around 75 million to 80 million, but as the bad press, like really bad press, continued to mount, those numbers shrank to just about 65 million. The Marvel's international haul, just 63 million, marking a global total of 110 million. Reports indicate that the movie cost about 220 million to produce and 100 million to advertise. Now, online pundits were quick to push their own explanations for why the movie failed. Some argue that Marvel had gone woke and was pushing female and minority representation over good storytelling. Some pointed specifically to the film's black female director as evidence of that.
Can't have that. Others, including Disney CEO Bob Iger, said that the superhero genre is becoming stale and that superhero fatigue is setting in. And some argue that requiring viewers to watch content across multiple platforms, like TV shows on Disney Plus, and years' worth of films were causing audiences to tune out.
So I should disclose, I have not seen it yet. I will see it. I see every Marvel thing. I don't. Moon Knight I haven't seen. I think that's basically it. I've seen every TV show, every movie. The quality has dropped rather notably in the post-Endgame landscape, which is unfortunate because, as I said, I'm a big fan. I think the Marvels, which I haven't seen yet, although I think I understand what the plot is, it has a lot going against it. Yeah, I'm sure some people out there on the right are making like the wokeness complaint, or they're like, it's too female, you just stick women in everything, etc. I should note that the first one was the Captain Marvel movie with Brie Larson, did very well at the box office.
It was
pretty popular. I liked it a lot. It's one of my favorite, really. I'm not sure Brie Larson is even happy about this movie because they kind of, like, it's her, she's Captain Marvel, and then they kind of made her one of a team. They kind of, I think, took
demoted
down,
her?
yeah, exactly, demoted her importance level. So I think she's kind of frustrated with it too. It sounds like they had to rewrite the script a lot of times. It's based on, you had to follow, I guess, to really understand what's going on, you had to watch Secret Invasion, which was one of the...
What is that?
It's one of the Disney Plus shows. It stars Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson's character.
You have to watch a TV show on a subscription service you may not have.
So I watched that,
and
it was terrible. Like, it was really bad. You have to watch another TV show. You have to have watched Miss Marvel, who's one of the Marvels. She's like a little kid, like teenage girl superhero. That show I liked more, but it's like, how can you keep up with what's going on if you have to? Those shows were supposed to be fill-ins until the next movie comes out, but instead it's like you have to meticulously follow this increasingly confusing. And also, they've gone so far down the rabbit hole of different timelines and multiverses and dimensions and realities, where it feels like eventually the stakes are being lost. Like, Tony Stark sacrifices himself epically in one of the movies, but now there's like 8 bazillion different universes. There's probably a bunch where Tony Stark is still alive and he could just pop right back over. It starts to erode the stakes of the storytelling. I think that is the big problem they're having. It's not across the board. I don't know if you've watched it yet. The second season of Loki was quite good. It just wrapped up. It's really good. I highly recommend it.
I don't have Disney Plus.
Well, you can borrow my login information.
I catch up on things when I go home for the holidays, but I'm not going to pay for everything in the world. So you telling me that I have to watch a bunch of other series with
I'm
characters
not selling you.
I've never even heard of before? Like, I was planning to watch this because I liked Brie Larson, and I liked the first movie a lot. I thought that the relationship between her and her best friend, who I guess has now gotten promoted to a superhero of her own.
So it's the best friend's daughter. Because that took,
cute.
if you think it took place in the 90s,
Yeah. I thought it was lovely. I think it's harder to write friendship than it is relationships. And I think a lot of movies use love interest as a crutch, and then they don't even write a real love story. They're just like, here's 2 attractive people, just trust that they would like each other. So I really liked the work that they put into that first one because it felt really real, and I was emotionally invested in their story. It seems to me what you're describing is a lot of really substantive reasons why it seems that this movie didn't pan out well. I also would say that I have not seen a single advertisement for this movie ever. I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch plenty of TV. I went to see a movie last weekend. I have not seen a poster for this movie, an online ad for this movie, a Twitter ad for this movie, the TMZ commentary about this movie. I didn't know this movie was out or coming out until I started hearing reports about how poorly it was doing in the box office. So to then turn around and say that the reason has to be because there's too many ladies in it or too many black people directing it or in it or whatever seems to me to be patently kind of projecting your own bigotry onto a situation, especially when you've articulated what seemed to me some really substantive reasons why this and all these post-Endgame projects aren't going very well.
Yeah. I think the smarter criticism of like what they're doing, or what specifically the heads at Disney are doing, which have not been very thoughtful lately in the Marvel category and really ever in the Star Wars category, is they think we need to expand our audience and bring in new people, so let's have a diverse character or a female character, which would work if they're very fully fleshed out and there's a great story there. But it's like they think just doing that in an id-pol way works, and it doesn't. That backfires even more dramatically because the characters are not fleshed out and you can identify with them. They don't bring in the new audience, and then they also the existing audience feels like, well, you're trying to bring in, you're not giving us good story, and we're upset about this.
Yeah.
So it makes no one happy, which that's been a long-running problem in the Star Wars category, and it's now increasingly a Marvel category. I hope they, and also the big struggle. Marvel has so many problems right now. What's his face? Kang, He Who Remains, it's supposed to be the new big bad guy. I can't think of his name right now.
You're asking the wrong person.
Help me out. Jonathan Majors.
Oh, okay.
He's in legal trouble. So he was supposed to be the next big major Marvel villain.
I thought he got out of it.
After Thanos. He's not out of it enough. There's conflicting allegations.
It didn't stop the Flash. They just kept making Flash movies despite his allegations against him.
Yeah.
Or them, sorry. I think they're non-binary.
Okay, yeah. I don't know that they're continuing with that character, but I could be wrong.
But there's been at least one movie since the allegation, The Flash. And it was, for what it's worth, I enjoyed it.
See that one. I don't care about the DC universe.
Okay.
But whether they continue with this character, who they really have been trying to set up through multiple films and TV shows, is I think a bit of a mystery right now, and that's interesting. All
right. Well, are you gonna go see it?
Yeah. Let us know if you're gonna see this movie. I will still see it, so maybe after I've seen it, I'll have a different takeaway. I love to like movies that everybody else hated. Nothing gives me more satisfaction than thinking a bad thing is good.
And I love to hate movies that everybody else liked, hence my Barbie critique.
So we're well suited to making everyone unhappy. Tomorrow on Rising, we have another 2024 presidential candidate joining us, and that is Cenk Uygur. He's on deck. You won't want to miss that.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss any content. And for those of you who like to listen while you're on the go, we are now available anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Bye-bye.
Take care.